Here we are, guys, back again, part 3. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to revisit. So I've had this bike in the workshop. It's a few days later now. I've had this bike in the workshop, 3 or 4 days, and I've run it up to temperature a few times with its auxiliary fuel supply connected, and it's literally not smoking at all now, or a little bit when you give it proper beans, but it's pretty much stopped smoking. So what I wanted to do before I did anything else was revisit the compression test, just to show you guys how the compression's come down. Well, I assume it's come down. Well, I'm certain it's come down, but we'll do a test now and have a look. Number 1. Kind of goes up in a funny way, but maxed out about where you'd think, about 170 psi. Number 2. Cool. Number 3. Awesome. So here's number 4. 175. Cool. Right then. Going to treat us to some new iridium plugs. As I said earlier, I'm going to do the oil filter. Might show you a little bit of that, might not. I want to get to the road testing of it, really. I'm going to pull the float bowls off the carbs and give them a clean out and put some new float needle valves in, just to try and mitigate any potential problems in the future. I might share a little bit of that with you. We'll see how we go. So this is the carb kit I'm using. It's a keister carb kit. These are pretty commonplace, really, for aftermarket carb bits, made in Japan. I suspect that maybe some of these bits are actually original parts, just put in a keister bag. So this kit was, I don't know, it was about 80 quid, something like that, so £20 per carb, because all 4 carbs worths are in here, if you see what I mean. Just show you what you get, just out of interest. I'm not even sure what we get. I've got a good idea, but so the bits I really need are these float needle valves. See, they've got a little rubber tip to them. I'm not sure if this is going to focus that well. That's quite good. So see this little rubber tip. In the past, I found that when bikes have had diesel in, and I'm not saying this one's got diesel, but it's got some sort of fuel contamination, this rubber can go a bit funny and cause problems. So that's why I wanted the carb kit. So we get 4 of those, we get 4 mixture screws, we get 4 pilot jets, another mixture, what do we got there? Main jet, or is that a choke jet? No, that's a main jet. 1, 2, 3, 4. Interestingly, which is quite cool, I didn't realise we would get this, but the bits that go missing, so 4 screws, 4 springs for the mixture screws, and then we got the 4 little O-rings, and also the washers. That's quite unusual. Normally in these carb kits you don't get the washers. They seem to leave the washers out for some reason, so that's cool. And then most of these O-rings we're not going to use, because they're for joining when you split the carbs into individual carburetors, they're for joining the carbs back together. Anyway, so that's what's in the carb kit. Probably won't bore you with putting the carbs in. I'm just going to replace the float bowl gaskets. I'll probably use the new mixer screws just because I've got them. And the new pilot jets. It's not, you know what I'm saying, it's not that interesting. I want to get out on the road and do some shots of it in action if I can. Alright, cool. See you on the other side. Well, you can call me fussy, but I reckon that might need a clean.